video. We are playing as Sceleria. Sceleria. Playing as. Don't think I saved turn 1. So you have to forgive me. But there shouldn't be much to. Well, we can obviously see everything sort of that happened on turn 1 without worrying about it. So this is our Disciples game. So you can see I got my partner Yis down here. And we're ready to start moving on. So last turn we recruited 2 of these cultists, and we're going to do it again this turn. So what we're doing this approach, there's a couple approaches, right? We could be more aggressively getting our thaumaturgs. So we're going to be a little bit slower in research, and we're going to be a little bit slower in site searching than we would be if we were doing more thaumaturgs. But this is going to give us a lot more long dead to work with, and that's going to help our expansion avoid losses of other troops. It's going to help us take harder provinces. So I think it's worth it. In my testing, I was doing better with this. The only problem, of course, right, is if you do in fact run into a need. You know, if you're 1 turn off your research, then this can be why. Let's go ahead and check. So there are no messages. This is a Disciples game, so we can't see. Nobody gets a prophet to name. But we will go ahead and look at the pretenders. We have us, Sceleria Hellbless, and then our buddy, Quickness Knights, the right hand of Sceleria Hellbless. We, of course, are not a Hellbless. We just decided that, maybe throw people off just a little bit. I don't want to say this one, but they are teamed up with this guy. It's Pythium and Jotunheim. We've got another curse. This is Marignon, and we actually can see Marignon already. Their capital is right here. They spawned basically directly next to Yis, and they in fact are cold 3, which is tough for Marignon. I think. I don't think they want to be cold 3. But their teammate is Calum, so that's why sort of some free scales there. Or some free design points by dumping the scales. The Deep State is Agartha, that makes sense, and their teammate is Mark Sucker. Awesome. Another somewhat questionable pair. A lot of questionable pairings here, let's be honest. And then Slimy Bob and follower of Slimy Bob, so I'm not sure about all those names. Go ahead and put that aside for the moment. What we're going to be doing right now is reanimating, and then this guy's going to move out. He's got our Velites, or the ally legionaries that we start with, plus we start with some Velites, and we recruited more Velites. Everyone's just on fire closest, and they're going to try and javelin people to death. We're going to send our scout out. So our objectives, given our spawn and the geography. So this is not the safest spawn we could have gotten. I think the safest spawn was probably on the island, given that we've got a water, we're one of the teams with a water nation. But this spawn is certainly workable. So what we're going to really want to do is take this bridge, take here, or, depending if we can get it right up here, but definitely seal these off. We're going to rely on Yis to hopefully seal off these entrances. And then this corridor, sort of these provinces here are sort of a natural choke point as well that we would like to get into to prevent attacks from our east coming through here and through here. So yeah, that's our basic. Those are our basic goals. Obviously, these are also farmland. So probably high value provinces that we're going to be looking to pick up, and we're just attacking some militias and archers. So hopefully shouldn't have much of an issue there. And I will go ahead and go through a bunch of turns here, just because there's not too much going on. I think the only other thing to really look at would be score graph. No, just kidding. Obviously nothing to see on score graphs. But the thrones. So we are playing with a mixture of 1s through 3s. So we're definitely, scouting them out is going to be important. A couple of thrones we're definitely going to have to watch out for. Shattered Throne. Van Pan is the only blood nations in the game. It'd be very sad if they got the Shattered Throne. But lots of other great... This one's sort of actually not all that good for us. It's good for Yis, though. Sloth +2. It actually is not necessarily the worst late game, depending on how many resources Yis manages to get in their capital. Because after the first handful of turns, I don't really care about productivity all that much, besides just as a, something that's giving me money. But Yis obviously cares a bit more. But yeah, so there's a lot of thrones. A lot of thrones. You can see even on our little sort of chunk of island, there's 3 already. So, all right, let's go ahead and check out turn 3. We went ahead and we had our attack hit here. Said our guys are just on fire, and we're up against not a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and get some good hits with our javelins, and they were out before they even get there. There they go. And now we just gotta... We shouldn't take too much... We don't have to worry too much about archer fire. We got this big tower shield. We've got helmets. The archers shouldn't really do too much to us. And in fact, clean expansion. No losses. We can go ahead and check out... I don't know if we'll watch all of Yis's battles throughout this series, but at least the beginning here. He's got a Morgan Champion. I think this is the Yissian command that starts with it, and he's got these Yissian spearmen who have a shield and no armor, and then these Yissian infantry have got some much better protection with this bronze cuirass and a hat, although you don't need the hat as much underwater. And they're up against some Tritons, who I believe have a poison knife. So they're gonna chew right through these guys because they're garbage, but they will, on the other hand, lose some pretty quickly. I don't know if anybody here will bleed out to poison. Doesn't look like it. So that was pretty clean. Just 3 garbage troops lost. No real worries. From here, we're gonna go ahead and try and take out, keep going towards our objective of this farm and take these guys out. We also had, this is somewhat annoying, because of our Dominion being cold, we have immediately cut off this mountain pass. So that's potentially helpful later. For defense purposes, they're going to have to go around us, but it's kind of annoying. There's also a mountain pass here, which, to be honest, I don't even think I noticed until like 10 or 11 turns into the game. But it also won't matter because it gets sealed off by our Cold Dominion pretty darn quickly. We're going to go ahead and recruit another cultist and a censor. We're also going to get some Vestals, Bellites, and some Rotarius. And then that's going to combine with what we already have in the province, which are some Bellites, some of the Vestals, and Undead. And then we'll send that group to go and take out these barbarians. And I'm recruiting the Rotarius because there's 70 barbarians. Now, we don't have a lot of high-value troops, so losing Longdead to barbarians is sort of acceptable losses, but it's going to hamper our ability to expand quickly if we take too many casualties. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get 4 guys reanimating. After this, we're going to try and get some more of the Thaumaturgs going, I think. Now we're going to go ahead and keep scouting. We can see poor Marignon is right next to Yis. I know if I were Marignon, I would be most displeased with this start. I mean, this is Yis basically just gets a chance to hit your capital all the time, and they can hit your all these water provinces that might be yours. It seems tough. They've also got a throne here, which they probably aren't going to be able to take right away. It's going to limit their expansion a little bit. There's actually 3 thrones on this tiny island, which is definitely going to hurt their expansion, or at least would hurt my expansion a lot. I don't know. Maybe they have some kind of. I know they are cold, right? But they didn't dump their scales though, so they can't have a crazy bless. No crazy bless. So yeah. So 1 expansion, moving into turn 3. We're only going to have 1 again, moving into turn 4. But hopefully, from here, we should be able to put together enough troops to send out another group. Let's go ahead and take a look at turn 4. Oops. Continue the game. Turn 4. We'll go ahead and go through turn 5 this time. Our same setup, and pretty much the same setup from the Indies, in fact. They've got a little bit of, they've got some light infantry instead of all militia. But we're going to go ahead and chop through that absolutely just fine. Again, the archers don't really have all that much they can do to us. Light infantries, though, do manage to kill some people. I mean, we just have human troops. They're just not... These guys are basically just light infantrymen. Okay, maybe they're better than light infantry. These are... excuse me. 10 hit points, 7 protection, 10, 13. And our guys are 10 hit points, 7 protection, 10, 15. So, pretty close. Pretty close. We also get unrest. Awesome. Take away some of the income we would have gotten. Now here, we're going to go ahead and expand into the barbs with this nice big group of Velites, Rotarius, Vestals, and Undead. We're going to go ahead and put the Long Dead. We're going to put the Velites in front, and they're going to chuck their javelins, and they're on sparse line, which they do not suffer penalty for, as they are indeed skirmishers. And then the rest of our troops are going to flow through to try and pick up the barbarians when they come through. And we're going to be doing some amount of unholy, unholy blessing. The idea, get our javelins in there and then flow through with the other troops. We're also going to try and take out this province. It's 20 enemy units, longbowmen, knights, and militia. This can go well or poorly. It really depends on what the mix is, right? If it's 10 longbowmen, 5 knights, 5 militia, it's going to be close. If it's, 11, 8, 1, it really just depends on how many knights there are. And what I'm thinking about when I made this choice is that, I don't know, this isn't like a map nuke map, so I don't know exactly where the other people are located. And it's going to take me a really long time to get reinforcements over here. Sort of just due to the way this map is, right? I'm going to have to, so I'm sending out a group the other direction this turn. I'm going to have to recruit Rotarius and a commander, and then he's going to have to march 3 away to back this up. And I figure in that time that wherever the spawn is over here, they're probably going to get there first. So I think I decided it's worth the risk here to go ahead and take this, as opposed to, we could almost certainly take this, but we wouldn't really be any closer. And we have, 30 barbarians. I haven't checked the scouting reports for each turn, but this could be more. So I don't know if we'd necessarily be able to kill them either. So that's sort of where we're at with this attack. I know it's risky. We don't see any expansion from Yis this turn. They're trying to build up more of these Yissian spearmen and infantries. Yis's land or water troops are just terrible. It's not that one. So that makes it they just don't expand all that well underwater. Now they expand great on land. So that's sort of what they're going to be up to. We can also see Kalem has appeared on our border, which makes sense. They are Marignon's ally. And they went ahead and did Kalem things and immediately got to this farm. I do not know where their spawn is. We don't see it. Looks like probably is somewhere around here. I'm trying to think if we see anybody else yet. Don't think we see anybody else quite yet. We'll go ahead and do one more turn. Go ahead and do turn 5. Alright, so we've got a couple battles. This is us versus the large barbarian stack. So we're going to go ahead and execute the strategy we discussed. See, there are indeed quite a few barbarians. And get us a little closer here. So we chuck in our javelins, and then the rest of our troops start to roll in. These, our Vestals are pretty good against barbs. They're ethereal, they have high defense. They blood surge to have higher defense. So they're going to hold up okay. The javelins are obviously great. The Rotarius are great. The Long Dead are really just trying to soak up hits so that these guys don't get too surrounded. But we do go ahead and rout them. Excuse me. Field. We lose 4 Long Dead, 5 Long Dead, 2 Rotarius, but we'll lose more of these because they fought people, and we did lose 1 Shadow Vestal. So, it's okay. And then here is us attacking the Knights. And there are more knights. More knights than we were hoping for. There's like 8 in this group, plus another leader, plus another leader, plus another leader. I thought, this guy's actually just on guard commander, but so that's 10 coming at us. That's a lot. They're gonna lance charge us. We're gonna have to. We're not getting a good surround, right? We got a bunch of guys here standing in the back, and then they rout, and then some of them rout, but not enough, and we end up fully routing. I think we killed like one. We killed one commander and one regular one. So that's tough. That is not where we wanted to be, and we had just about total losses. Let's see how our buddy did under the waves. He's got these Knight of Yis guys who are on the side, and he's got his first Morvarks, who are fine underwater, but are much, much better on land. So we definitely want to get them on land as soon as possible. He's just doing Blessing and Water Strikes. Good contact on the side. Sort of a nice pincer move. He's gonna end up losing 2 of these Knights of Yis though, because they're not blessed, or they're not sacred, so they can't take that poison bless. Yeah, and these Shark Tribe Tritons are really dangerous. 3 attacks, extremely dangerous. And he also gets an attack in here with just these infantrymen, and you can see he did a pretty good job given working out the speed difference. Definitely better than I would have done. I'm going to get hit by this water guy a little bit. He's got some water gems, but that's it. And then he's going to go down. So, 5 losses. And I got Scasius showing up at my gate. Now, Scasius is really useful. For a hero with no turn timer. So he's an heir 2, although that's because he has this Book of the Stormcaller, which he doesn't have any water magic to benefit from. So this is a cursed item, so can't take that off. But it's going to allow him to cast Trade Wind. Yes, thank you. Trade Wind, which is 25% bonus to coastal income. So that's pretty nice. Now we have to actually find one. He only casts it for 1 turn. So he has to be basically doing it. His whole job would be making 1 province have plus 25 income if you're going to use him that way. But that's certainly not nothing. If you get a nice big coastal province, at first impression, this is 9,000, which is okay for the age. Which is sort of medium for the age. But like these could both be good. I got to figure out whether or not it works on my allies' province. I would hope that it does. But in addition to that, he's also an heir 2. Which we don't have super easy access to air stuff, right? This is basically the only way we're ever going to get an air 2. Now, our teammate has, I believe, much higher air. So it is not the only way that we could get air 3s, just recruitable. So in that way, it's less important than if it was just for us, but just us without a disciple. But still, air 2, we're going to be able to get some early site searching in. And then he also comes with 5d6. No, yeah, 6d6 mercenaries. That's pretty nice. He's a tax collector too, which is not overly relevant. That's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And he has an undead leader, magic leader, leadership, etc. So he's able to do a lot to buff up our expansion parties excuse me, with those troops, because they'll just replenish every turn. So as long as we get them to take a lot of the losses, we can use him to help our expansion pretty greatly. What we're going to have him do now, though, this turn, is move over here, and then he's going to site search, and then we're going to go ahead and recruit some more leaders. We're going to end up sending a leader with some Rotarius and some Alongdead to go and try and pick this up, and we'll send the other guy. I think he goes over here, but he also might come down. Can't quite recall. We're going to go ahead and attack these infantry. Militia, light infantry, heavy infantry. We found a mine of superior iron, just fine. I mean, we obviously enjoy having more resources, so that's good. I would have probably rather had the gold though, because the resources are good early, like really early, but the gold's gonna be good all game. But we now have 4 reanimators, and we have our first thaumaturg. I think I forgot to mention we're doing that. And he's going to move and start site searching these forests. See if we can't find some gems. So, not quite researching yet. We're going to get there. We're going to go enchantment 2. That's going to allow us to... We could do reanimation. We probably won't do a lot of that, hopefully. We have a lot of that built in. But what we do need is Revive King. We're going to need a lot of kings to lead our armies underwater. They just have lots of undead leadership. Going to be very necessary to get these guys going. And then we'll go Conjuration 2-3. Conjuration 3 is going to give us Power of the Spheres, as well as Dark Knowledge. We could also, in a pinch, revive Whites against really tough enemy units. Or like a Bane, but probably it'd be more likely to be Whites. But yeah, so Power of the Spheres and Dark Knowledge, though, is the main take here. And then we're going to go up to Enchantment 5. Revenants are maybe... We have a lot of magic scales, so it's okay to like get these guys started for researching and casting Dark Knowledge. You know, they're a decent use of Death Gems. Up at 4, Raised Dead is okay. Twiceborn is much needed on our cap-only guys so that they don't get absolutely walloped. I don't think Behemoth is a worthwhile spell. But the main reason we're going up is to get Horde of Skeletons so that we can put it in communions. And then Horde of Skeleton people to death. Is the main idea. If we can find a Nature Water Mage also, Foul Vapors is very good on us. As most of our troops are dead, and the rest of them have 15 poison resistance in Bless. Our mages do. So we're going to be looking at that if possible. But so that's what we're going to do. This guy is going to move back here as well. I think he's moving back to try and pick up more troops. So pretty slow expansion, right? We're on turn 5. We've only got 4 provinces. So that's kind of unfortunate. But it should get a little better. We're going to go get another one next turn, and we're going to hopefully start to put 2 groups out or more in the future. So I think I'll go ahead and call it for this episode. I think that I've already... I got to go and see if I can't find... I think I lost turn 6 and 7. So we'll see if I can't find those. This is coming back from the holidays, so... That's what tends to happen on holidays, is you don't get a chance to save everything correctly. But hey, there's even a kind individual who attempted to help me save my files better, but I have to use my wife's laptop when we're traveling, so wouldn't have helped me there. Okay, but thanks everybody for joining me, and we'll see you for the maybe turn 6 and 7 if I can find them, but more probably, turns like 8, 9, 10 maybe next time. So thank you for joining me, and have a nice day.